These are three things that I've learned listening to and reviewing over 15,000 songs on SubmitHub as a playlist curator. Hello, my name is Kev Rowe. I'm a working musician, and I've been on this website, SubmitHub, for about 4 years now, since August of 2020, and it's now almost August of 2024. And I've listened to 15,000 songs. So on SubmitHub, every time you listen to a song, you leave a short review for the person who is submitting. First, let me tell you what SubmitHub is. SubmitHub is this amazing website where you have independent artists on one hand submitting to playlist curators on the other hand in consideration for their material to be put on Spotify playlists. And it's an amazing community of all type of people that you can imagine. Independent musicians, studio musicians, hobbyists, Nashville publicists, LA publicists, worldwide media companies. Everyone in the world who has something to do with music right now has at least a pinky toe in SubmitHub in some way. Like the amount of people that I've met there, it's incredible. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the three things that I've learned the most by being so active on this website and in this community. The first one I kind of already hinted at, and it's the variety of music being produced today and distributed on the internet. The variety of genres it's growing all the time. Like, it's no longer like pop, country, rap, techno. No, every one of those genres has like 50 subgenres underneath it. So it's almost hard to keep track of how many genres there are today. And all of these genres are being fueled by a music industry environment where it's really easy to record, produce, and distribute your own music. And this has been going on for a long time now. Probably since the 90s, I would say, with the invention of Pro Tools and digital home recording studios. And then as things have evolved into social media and Spotify and the way that it's really easy to distribute your music. So because of these low costs of entry of getting into the music business, or I shouldn't even say getting into the music business, I should say just distributing music in general, those low costs have shown up on this website, SubmitHub, in the form of some pretty incredible music making all over the world that needs to go somewhere. It's all showing up on Spotify too, but most of it's not getting heard. Like on Spotify, I wish I knew the statistics on this, but like if you have 1,000, I shouldn't even say, but if you have a certain amount of listeners, all of a sudden you're in the top 10% of artists on Spotify, and it's a low number. I can't remember what the number is, but there's so much music not being heard on Spotify. And that's one of the reasons for this service, SubmitHub, is because it helps undiscovered music and undiscovered artists get discovered through the playlist curators playlists on Spotify. So I have thousands of active monthly listeners on my Spotify playlist. Right now, I think I have 17,000 followers of my playlist, and they listen all the time in all those genres I was describing. So country music, pop, folk, Americana, dance music, pop music. But because of all this variety, as a playlist curator, I'm listening to between 50 and 100 songs per day, and they are in a vast variety of quality, and the way that this music is being made. Like, it's everything from high school, an ambitious high school student who just wants to make some fun music, who might buy a beat and then rap over the top of it, or make us a folk song over the top of it, and then send it directly to me. They don't even mix it, they don't even master it, and they just send it straight to me. All the way to fully produced $1 million productions that are being made in Nashville and LA, and every level in between. Like, every possible scenario you can think of in between, free, made on, does anyone use GarageBand? I don't know, Fruity Loops or something. Made on a laptop, to like huge teams of professional musicians and everywhere in between. So you can start to understand the challenge for me as a playlist curator in hearing all that variety and trying to understand how the recording was made, where I could possibly put that on my playlists, and where it belongs in the world. Like, so some people call Spotify or playlist curators tastemakers, right? But I think the job is way different than that. It's more like it's a necessary filter in the music business to help music go where it needs to go. On one hand, on the other, it is a coaching tool for musicians to get better, for sure, in the reviews and in the guidance, I guess. But yes, this variety is the first thing that I've noticed. It's like an incredible artistic time in our civilization, to be honest with you. Like, there's music being made that may not be heard for 10 years from now, but will be legendary just because there's so much music being made. So the second thing, which I'm kind of alluding to, is the definition of broadcast quality music. This is something I think quite a lot about, as both as a playlist curator, as a working artist, a musician. So I have 10 albums on Spotify, and I am actively pitching my music to other playlist curators on SubmitHub too, in consideration to be on their playlists. And so back to the broadcast quality music thing. One of the things that I think qualifies me to be able to do this job as a playlist curator is I've made every mistake at this point. Like, every time a song comes to me, I've made the mistake in that recording. All the way from in the 1990s, when I was recording on a little 4-track cassette tape in my bedroom. Like, you know, like a cassette tape that went in a recorder, and we just recorded 4 tracks. And it was like, wow, you can record 4 tracks. That's so cool. So I was making like little instrumental albums, and it was way lo-fi. No mixing, no mastering. Like, well, I guess there was mixing. We had 4 tracks, so I would just like put each one where I wanted it to go. And I was doing vocals and things like that, but these were very crude demo recordings. Those show up on my SubmitHub account all the time. Like, I listen to really lo-fi music, again, all the way to fully produced Nashville stuff, or LA, or professional studios. So a part of my job is to be able to hear, and, well, I should go more into my story. So then, as things progressed, I did end up in professional studios as a recording musician, up to the point where I was doing fully produced albums with teams of musicians and a producer and an engineer and a mastering engineer and a graphic designer, and it would take like literally 20 people to make an album. And so this, for me, this was between 2007 up until now. Like the music that I'm making now it takes a team to do it. Like I have the vision, I make use of the tools, but I mean, I need good musicians to play with and to record with, and good producers. Shout out to my man Danny Kadar, who is my producer on my last couple records and has been for since 2010. Anyway, so I've made fully produced, commercially viable broadcast quality music also. So I've made every mistake along this ladder, and I've made all the good things too. But a part of my job is to hear the music being submitted to me and know immediately how that music was made based on how it sounds and how much it costs to make it, what the team was like in putting that production together, how long it might have taken. You can tell if something was thrown together in a week versus a year. Just the tender love and care that has gone into that recording. It's a part of my job. So this term broadcast quality music constantly goes through my head because I'm thinking, and it's almost an instinct at this point. When I click on a new song and boom, it sounds amazing. Like it was produced by John Williams and like a cinematic movie score. Or it was like Tim McGraw's newest country production, or Taylor Swift, or you know it when you hear it. You're like, ooh, man, that is gold, and that sounds very professional. Versus a guy who just records on a low-budget microphone on his laptop, an acoustic and a vocal. You're like, oh, okay, this is not broadcast quality music in the sense that it would be on traditional radio, or maybe that it would not be on editorial playlists on Spotify. But I'm not excluding that material. I'm looking for something in that I can believe in, or something that in that track that I find interesting in terms of skill or message. Message is a big one. If your lyrics have a good story, then usually you can hook me into your song. But I'm looking for something. And if it's not broadcast quality music, I still have playlists for that artist. So amongst all my playlists, there are some that are a little more geared towards broadcast quality music, in that it would be on traditional country radio or pop radio, or even smaller Americana folk type stuff. But mixed in with those is all the potential that I hear on SubmitHub. The smaller artists who don't necessarily have the production value, but have incredible singing voices, or have incredible songwriting skills. Just something unique about that artist where I can say, 2 albums from now, these guys will have broadcast quality music, and they're going somewhere. So I need to be able to hear the future in like where this artist is going. So that's broadcast quality music, what I think about it. It's an important term, and I use it as kind of a gauge. If you have broadcast quality music and you're using a team, you're much more likely to get on playlists. Not just mine, editorial playlists. I mean, it takes a team to make great music that strangers will love. Not just your family and friends. We're talking about competition. There's so much music being made in the world today and in your genre that you really, really have to understand. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Knowing your genre. Like you have to know all the artists that you have in common with, like the artists that you love in your genre. and what they're doing, who their producers are. Just knowing everything about your genre and including that in the pitch to me on SubmitHub so that I know, oh, this person gets it. They know who they should be played next to. That is really important. Okay, the third thing that I wanted to talk about that I have learned listening to and reviewing 15,000 songs on SubmitHub is that consistency and relationship building are really, really important in this whole thing. There are certain artists, lots of them, that come through my SubmitHub account and I go, oh yeah, this guy again, I love his voice. Or, oh, this girl again, she's got that great writing style. Or this publicist, they've sent me 162 songs. I can see it right there. And I've submitted, or I've approved 84 of them. That's a pretty good percentage. They must have killer music. They must have killer artists. They must have a killer team going on here. I'm automatically swayed that direction and going, they're probably going to get through and onto my playlists. So it's that consistency. These guys, they're submitting to me once a week, once every couple weeks, and they have an ongoing effort. They want to build a relationship with me as a playlist curator. They trust me. The name of my account is Americana Country by singer-songwriter Kev Rowe. It kind of tells you the music that I'm into. But I also do pop and some dance music, and I just like great music. So if you have great music, send it to me. But yeah, consistency and relationship building. So these publicists, say they have, 50 artists, and those 50 artists have 50 songs. They don't send me, what is that, like 2,500 songs? They don't send me all that music at once. They're smart. They want to build a relationship with me over time and consistently deliver results to their artists who are paying them to get their music heard. They want to consistently give them opportunities. So once a week, those radio publicists or record labels or whatever, they can go back to the artist and say, hey, this week we got you on this many playlists, and we're continuing to make efforts to grow your music in the world. So it's that consistency that really makes a difference. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because you should do the same. If you have 100 songs, you don't get on SubmitHub and send them to me all at once. Like, there's nothing worse than putting on my SubmitHub account and going, oh, 10 songs from the same artist all in a row. It's like, there's no way I could put all 10 of those songs on my playlist. It's too much of your music right now at the same time to be on my playlist. I want to spread it around. I want to help a few of these artists. I want to help these artists. Like, you want to give the listeners of my playlist enough variety so that they're continuing to come back because they trust my tastes. Like, they want to know, oh, Kev has found me some more great music to listen to. And that way it creates retention in the playlist. They know that I'm always going to be providing them with great music. So this consistency thing is really key. So what I recommend to most artists is to submit with time intervals in between. So even a week is too often, I think, to the same playlist curator. Ideally, I like people to submit to me between 2 weeks and 4 weeks apart. So like 3 weeks. If I'm consistently putting your music onto my playlists, wait 3 weeks, send me a new song. Odds are I'll probably love it and then put it on the next playlist. Because that way I'm always keeping my playlists fresh and bring in new material for my listeners to be consuming. And the relationship stems from there. Those listeners of my playlists, get to know you over time too. So not only am I building up my reputation with my playlist listeners, I'm building up the reputation between you, the artist, and my playlist listeners by showing your music to them over and over and over again in different songs. So it's a way to help you leverage your catalog. And the consistency thing is also really important because it shows people you're committed to this whole thing. Like, you're here for life. Even if you're a hobbyist musician or a full-time musician or whatever your designation is as a career at this point, if you're always making music, that's what people care about. They want to know, oh, okay, this is an artist I can buy into for life. Let me go listen to their Spotify channel. So, to review, the 3 things that I've learned listening to and reviewing 15,000 songs on SubmitHub are: know your genre. There's a wide variety of content being made out there, so you really need to know your genre. Shoot for and try to know what broadcast quality music is. I know that's tough, but basically build a team if you can. And be consistent, build relationships over time. It's, you want your career trajectory to go like this, little steps over time. Like, if you go whoop up like that, you're just going to come straight down, and then it's going to be tough. Yeah, so that's what I've learned. I'm going to be making a whole bunch more playlist curator videos here on YouTube. Anything I can think of. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to make a video about it. See you in the next video. Bye. Subscribe.